There is a storm brewing on planet Earth. Our rights, our freedoms, and even humanity are being taken away and even destroyed on the entire planet. As such, it's time for the sovereigns of the land to rise up and stop this insanity from continuing. For this reason, it's time for a video series on civil disobedience, a frank discussion about different methods that could potentially be used by the sovereigns to regain their freedom. Please note that I am not advocating for any violence. I can only hope that violence will never, ever have to happen, and it will only happen if the powers that be that are taking away our rights, our freedoms, and our humanity force it upon us. So what was the trigger point that made me decide to make a video series in civil disobedience? Well, it was an incident that is affecting me personally in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, but this can be applied anywhere in the world. A local grocery chain called Co-op, Calgary Co-op, has decided that nobody is allowed to shop in their store without a mask or a face shield, no matter if they have an exemption or not, even if you prove it with a doctor's note. This is absolutely critical in my eyes, and it is another step of the New World Order, the globalist scum taking over the world by forcing us into compliance and becoming good little sheep. And we can't let this happen. So obviously, the very first thing you have to do for civil disobedience is you hold a rally outside of the location of the store. And we did this. And we will continue to do this. We know this has to be done because the only way to affect a business, whether it's a grocery store, any type of business, doesn't really matter, is to affect their bottom line. When their bottom line begins to get affected, they start to wake up and take notice and think about possibly changing whatever it is they're currently doing. So as mentioned, holding the rallies is the first step because you may discourage customers from shopping at that location or at that chain of stores. And that's important because then they're losing money. But now you have to step it up a notch. You have to think outside the box. What else can you do? And one of the simplest things to do is to cancel your membership if this type of business sells memberships. Now in Co-op's case, I have probably $1,200 to $1,500 worth of shares. Can you imagine if 1,000 or 10,000 people started canceling their memberships? Their bottom line is going to be affected relatively quickly. Take the example of Costco before. That happened not too long ago. People canceled their memberships and they suffered immensely. Unfortunately, there's such a big globalist cabal that they were able to survive. But in the case of a smaller chain, every dollar that is taken out of their pockets hurts them. So I encourage everybody, if there's a situation such as the Co-op, to get everyone to cancel their memberships and let's bring the store down. So you're holding your rallies and hopefully their sales get reduced because less customers go in, and you cancel your memberships. These two things will really start to affect the store. Of course, they could be very financially sound. So this in and of itself will not be enough to make them reverse their policies or take the store down. So more ideas are in the works. So stay tuned to part 2 of this series, where we will discuss more methods of civil disobedience. In the meantime, stay strong. We are all sovereigns of the world. We, the people, are the power. We, the people, have unalienable rights. Stand up, be strong. Let's get our freedom back.